members of the media, Namaskar, good afternoon. Many of you are new faces, and I think I'm also somewhat new to a lot of you, but I saw some old friends and familiar faces here. But a warm hello to all of you, and thank you so much for coming. This week, we are having state visits from two foreign dignitaries. Can you hear? Okay. The President of the Republic of Cyprus, His Excellency Mr. Nikos Anastasiadis, is currently on a state visit to India from 25 to 29 April. He arrived in Mumbai on 25 April. He is accompanied by 4 cabinet ministers of Cyprus and senior officials and 60-member business delegation that is also accompanying him. From the Indian side, Srimati Anupriya Patel, Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, is the minister accompanying for the visit of the Cypriot President. President Anastasiadis arrived at Mumbai on 25 April. There he had a meeting with the Governor of Maharashtra on 25 April and addressed a business forum on 26 April. He came to Delhi yesterday, 26 April evening. Today, on 27 April, he addressed a business forum in the morning. In the evening, he will deliver a talk at Observer Research Foundation, the ORF. Tomorrow, on 28 April morning, he will be given a ceremonial guard of honor at Rashtrapati Bhavan, followed by wreath laying by him at Mahatma Gandhi's Samadhi at Rajghat. His other engagements tomorrow include a meeting with Honorable Rashtrapati Ji, who will also host a banquet in the honor of President Anastasiadis, and delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Modi. President Anastasiadis will confirm the award, the Grand Collar of the Order of Makarios III, on Honorable Rashtrapati Ji during the meeting between the two dignitaries. The Grand Collar of the Order of Makarios III is the highest ranked order of the Republic of Cyprus, offered by the President of the Republic of Cyprus to foreign heads of state and government. Additionally, External Affairs Minister Srimati Sushma Swaraj will call on President Anastasiadis tomorrow. President Anastasiadis will leave Delhi on the early morning of 29 April. This is the first visit of President Anastasiadis to India. Earlier, he had substantive meetings with the Prime Minister Modi, on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York in September 2015. From the Indian side, in recent times, Honorable Rashtrapati Ji, Srimati Pratibha Devi Singh Patil, paid a state visit to Cyprus in October 2009. India and Cyprus enjoy friendly and time-tested ties. On many global issues, both countries share similar views. India has extended unwavering support to the sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity of Cyprus. Cyprus supports India's views on crucial multilateral issues such as the UN Security Council reform and nuclear suppliers group. Cyprus and India enjoy robust economic ties. Cyprus is a major investor in India with cumulative foreign direct investment of above $9 billion. Cyprus is the 8th largest foreign investor in India and has invested in areas such as financial leasing, stock exchange, auto manufacture, manufacturing industries, real estate, cargo handling, construction, shipping, and logistics. There is also scope for cooperation in sectors like pharmaceuticals, renewable energy, tourism, and film production. Some agreements and MOUs are currently under negotiation and will be signed during the visit. The President of the Republic of Turkey, His Excellency Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, will be on a state visit to India from 30th April to 1st May 2017. He will be accompanied by Madam Erdogan, some cabinet ministers, and some cabinet ministers of Turkey. Additionally, senior officials and a 150-member business delegation from Turkey will come to India for the visit. From the Indian side, Shri Vijay Goyal, Minister of State, Independent Charge for Youth Affairs and Sports, is the minister accompanying for the visit of the Turkish President. President Erdogan is scheduled to reach Delhi on 30th April. On 1st May morning, he will be given a ceremonial guard of honor at Rashtrapati Bhavan, followed by wreath laying by him at Mahatma Gandhi's Samadhi at Rajghat. His other engagements on that day include delegation level talks with Prime Minister Modi and a meeting with Honorable Rashtrapati Ji, who will host a banquet in the honor of President Erdogan. Additionally, Honorable Vice President will call on President Erdogan. There will also be a call on President Erdogan by External Affairs Minister. An India-Turkey Business Forum meeting for the visiting Turkish businessmen and their Indian business counterparts will be organized during the visit of President Erdogan. He will leave Delhi on the night of 1st May. A detailed program is under finalization. This is the second visit of President Erdogan to India. Earlier, he had visited India as Prime Minister in 2008. He also had a substantive meeting with Prime Minister Modi during Prime Minister Modi's visit to Antalya, Turkey in 2015 for the G20 summit there. Other high-level exchanges between the two sides in recent years are visit of the Turkish President Abdullah Gül to India in 2010, visit of Honorable Vice President Shri Muhammad Hamid Ansari to Turkey in 2011, and the visit of Honorable Rashtrapati Ji Shri Pranab Mukherjee to Turkey in 2013. India and Turkey enjoy close, friendly and deep-rooted ties dating back to several centuries. There are rich historical and cultural connections between the two countries in the field of art and architecture. Diplomatic relations between India and Turkey go back to over 70 years. Regular high-level exchanges have strengthened our bilateral ties. Both India and Turkey have been battling terrorism for long and understand the need for acting against this global menace. Turkey and India enjoy strong economic ties. Bilateral trade between the two countries stood at US dollars 6.4 billion. India's main export products to Turkey are textiles and fabrics, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, plastic products, machinery, and automotives. There is scope for cooperation in other areas such as construction, infrastructure development, renewable energy, tourism, and film shooting. A number of Indian companies have established their presence in Turkey through production facilities or project participation. Some agreements, MOUs, are currently under negotiation between the two countries and will be signed during the visit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the briefing on both the visits. We will now open the floor for questions. Maybe we can take questions together, first on Cyprus and then maybe on Turkey. We can take all the questions together, ma'am.
Perhaps.
All right.
Whichever way.
Okay. Yes, Ritu.
Ma'am, my question is regarding Turkish president's visit. Will we be raising Turkey's incessant support to Pakistan's stand on Kashmir? Will it come up for for discussion?
Kindly introduce yourself because
Hi, sir. I'm
the
Siddhant.
secretary may not know you. Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm Siddhant from Doordarshan News. Ma'am, on Turkey, what's the stand of the Turkish leadership on India's bid for NSG?
Gulen sir.
Hi. Hello, I am from DNA News. We have, I understand that we have some issues with China because of they have infrastructure projects in the Pakistan side of Kashmir. And there are similar infrastructure projects by the Turkey also. Post 2005, it was the Turkey who actually built up the city of Muzaffarabad. So are these issues also with the Turkey will be taken up?
The President of Cyprus has requested India's assistance for resolving the Northern Cyprus issue. Since President of Turkey would be visiting next week, would India be raising this issue with the Turkish President?
Padma Rao, Beyond Television. I, in fact, I have almost the same question. It doesn't seem like, or is it a coincidence that the President of Turkey and the visitor from Cyprus are, here within 24 hours of each other? And if so, what is India's official position on the divided state that the entire island of Cyprus is in? Thank you.
Since this is a forum in which you ask the questions and we answer, I won't ask you what is your guess on the coincidence. we close.
Thanks. Thank you. Sorry. So the first question, I realize I have to learn to write down faster because I seem to have lost track of who asked the question after some point of time. But the first, it's okay. First one was, I think, Ritu, and you asked about the statements on J&K and support to Pakistan. So we are aware that Turkey has a close relationship with Pakistan, and this is their bilateral matter. We have always emphasized that India-Turkey relations stand on their own footing. And we believe that Turkish side reciprocates our sentiment. As for what we will raise or what will come up, that is a matter of speculation, so I can't get into that. Then I will come back to some of the questions. But again, I think I have to give the same answer on the question on mediation, because what will be discussed in the visit or what will be raised by either side is actually a matter of speculation, so I wouldn't like to get into that. On the timing of the visit, normally the timings of visits are based on the conveniences of leaders. So I think that is all that I would like to say on that. On The Cyprus issue, yes, I know that we have, so that yeah. On the Cyprus issue, we understand that the two sides in Cyprus have been talking to each other. India hopes that a just and lasting solution will be found to the Cyprus problem in accordance with UNSC resolutions and the aspirations of the people of Cyprus. We support a peaceful dialogue between the concerned parties. Coming to projects in POK. On NSG, we remain engaged with Turkey, and on projects in POK, I think our position on the state of Jammu and Kashmir is very well known, and all of you, I think, know it well, that the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir is part of the territory of India, and our position on CPEC is also well known. Thank you.
Yeah. Ma'am, I have one question on the Turkish president's visit. You know, you would recall that about a year back when this attempted coup took place in Turkey, they had blamed Fethullah Gulen for the attempted coup, and they had claimed that there were some schools operating in India which were part of this network. And at that time, the MEA had said that they were looking into it and they would, you know, gather the facts and then discuss it with Turkey. So, what is the status of that?
Well, after the coup, of course, if you recall, our Honorable Prime Minister had called the Turkish President telephonically, and since considering that we are a democratic country, our sympathies on such cases and our position on such cases can be well understood. On Gulen schools, Turkish side has raised this issue with us in the past, and we have noted their concern.
Kalol?
Okay, this is the last question.
Okay. Turkish President's advisor, Mr. Ilnur Sevic, who is already in town, he told during an interaction that if India applies for the OIC membership, then Turkey is willing to support. So now the question is India willing to be a member of the OIC? Because he pointed out India's vast Muslim population as one of the qualifying criterion, So I would like to know what is your response to that?
If I may, ma'am, on your behalf, this Kalol, I would say, is in the realm of speculation, so let us leave it at that. That is also speculation. Thank you very much, ma'am, and the High Commissioner and our colleague and friend, Mr. Bhattacharjee. With that, we conclude the first part. There will be a small break, and then we'll resume the second part, which is the regular briefing. Thank you very much, ma'am and sir, once again.
Thank you, Gopal, and thanks to all of you. Thank you.
So let us start the second part. No announcements, and I'm in your hands. Akhilesh?
Sir, yesterday I saw on your website something about North Korea. It was regarding the sanction by United Nations Security Council, and India has complied with it. So I think this is the first time that India has responded to such a sanction imposed by UNSC. So what are the sanctions about and what India wants to go through?
The details are contained in the order that we have issued. I'm sure you would be familiar with that. It is about certain aspects of restrictions that have been put under a UN mandate. And as a member state and also as a country which is deeply interested in peace and stability and of course non-proliferation, we have our obligations and we have carried out those obligations. The details of what we have done are contained in the order, which will also be published as a Gazette notification. Akhilesh, I don't know if that is the correct way to portray Indian position. India, I would only say, has been scrupulously part of the implementation of the UN sanctions, the UN mandated restrictions or sanctions.
Sir, I'm Raghavendra Rao from WION. I had a chat with you in the morning as well. Now, there is this case in Pakistan where this minor Sikh girl has been alleged to have been forcibly converted to Islam. And just wanted to check whether the MEA has taken note of this or any kind of an intervention is being thought about.
Thank you, Raghavendra, for your question. And I had been trying to, as you know, since you called me in the morning, I've been trying to ascertain what has been the development there. The reports that we have seen are what you mentioned. It doesn't seem to be the first case of this type, unfortunately, in that part of the world. There have been occasions when minorities in Pakistan have been subjected to different difficulties and, of course, conversions as well. Let me put it this way, that the matter of protection of the rights of minorities in Pakistan is the responsibility of the government of Pakistan. In the past, whenever there has been a need, we have taken up such matters with the government of Pakistan. And government of Pakistan has obviously assured us that it is committed to upholding these rights of minorities. So that's where the matter stands.
सर, कुलभूषण जाधव मसले में कल अपील दायर की गई और 16th काउंसलर एक्सेस के लिए भी हमने रिक्वेस्ट किया, तो क्या हम काउंसलर एक्सेस के रिक्वेस्ट का शतक लगाने जा रहे हैं या इसके अलावा भी कोई दूसरा विकल्प है हमारे पास?
हम तो काउंसलर एक्सेस के मामले में 0 पर आउट होना चाह रहे थे भाई। अच्छा, नहीं देखिए, ऐसा है, आपने शतक की बात करी तो मैंने थोड़ा हल्के लहजे में इसका जवाब दिया, लेकिन मुद्दा बहुत गंभीर है और हमने जैसा कि आपने कहा 16 बार पाकिस्तान से ये मांग करी है कि वो भारतीय नागरिक हैं, गैरकानूनी तरीके से वो पाकिस्तान की कस्टडी में हैं, उन पे बेबुनियाद आरोप है और इसलिए हमको उनसे कौंसलर भेंट करने की अनुमति दी जाए। और जो हमने उनको अपील जो दायर करी गई है, कल आप लोगों को जैसा पता होगा, हमने कल कहा भी था अपनी वेबसाइट पर कि ये उनकी माताजी की अपील है और माताजी की पेटिशन है, उनकी याचिका है और उनकी अपील है। 2 अलग अलग चीज़ें हैं जो कि वहाँ पे दायर करी गई हैं, क्योंकि माताजी ने वीज़ा के लिए अप्लाई किया है और वो वीज़ा की अपेक्षा रखती हैं, लेकिन अभी तो वो नहीं जा पाई और 40 दिन की मोहलत थी, 40 दिन का समय था, तो वो 40 दिन की मियाद ना निकल जाए, इसलिए उन्होंने भारत सरकार से गुजारिश करी कि भारत सरकार उनकी अपील को और उनकी याचिका को पाकिस्तान में संबंधित अधिकारियों तक पहुंचा दे। और हमने वो काम कल पूरा किया है। हमने कल पाकिस्तान की सरकार को उनकी याचिका और उनकी अपील हैंडओवर कर दी है, उनको दे दी है और ये भी कहा है कि हम ये उम्मीद रखते हैं कि उनके परिवार का, ना सिर्फ माताजी का बल्कि उनके पिताजी का भी जो वीज़ा है जिसके लिए उन्होंने अप्लाई किया है यहाँ नई दिल्ली में पाकिस्तान हाई कमीशन में, वो वीज़ा एक्सपेडाइट किया जाएगा, वो उनको मिल जाएगा, जिससे वो खुद जा कर के पाकिस्तान में अपने पुत्र के बारे में जो चिंता उनको है, जो सारे देश को है, उस संबंध में वो आगे कदम उठा सकें, याचिका वगैरह खुद पर्सनली फॉलोअप कर सकें, अगर दायर करना उनको पर्सनली ज़रूरी होगा तो वो कर सकें। और उन्होंने कुलभूषण जाधव जी से भेंट करने की भी इच्छा जाहिर करी है, तो वो भी हमने पाकिस्तान की सरकार को, पाकिस्तान के अथॉरिटीज़ को, अधिकारियों तक ये बात पहुंचा दी है। तो ये कई चीज़ें हैं जो कि जिन पे काम चल रहा है और हमें आशा है कि कुलभूषण जाधव जी को न्याय मिलेगा।
Gopal, just to go back to the question that my colleague Raghavendra asked you about the Sikh girl who was abducted in Pakistan. We had this discussion in the newsroom today, so could you just clarify once and for all, like Israel has a policy that, you know, Jews from around the world will be given citizenship. Do we have a kind of a basic policy, or do we wait till we are approached or asked, or a visa or permanent residence is applied for? In cases of, let's say, Hindus or Sikhs or religions that originated perhaps in India. Thank you.
देखिए बहुत जनरल सवाल आपने पूछा है. It's a very general question. Now the thing really is that citizenship and all those matters are not within the realm of MEA, so I obviously won't be able to answer that what is the policy on or as regards to citizenship and grant of citizenship. We are talking of the general situation or general aspect of the situation here, that there have been difficulties which minorities in Pakistan have faced. We have raised those matters as and when required, when those have been brought to the notice of the government or the High Commission, which is also obviously government's arm in Pakistan. And sometimes when there are matters which require, then suo motu also, Government of India does take notice of it, and we raise the matter with Pakistan.
Chinese Daily Global Times has commented on India's development plans of second aircraft carrier, whereas China itself is developing so many aircraft carriers, and has advised India to instead focus on its economic development. What is your comment on that?
India's second aircraft carrier, I don't know if that is the correct description. Frankly, I think we have had aircraft carriers even since the time when I wasn't born, for example. so that puts it clearly beyond 50 years. So we have had aircraft carriers, among them legendary names like INS Vikrant, INS Virat. Now we have Vikramaditya. I think there are others, which the planned ones for future. So they respond to our security needs and our assessment of our security needs, and are also in line with India as a responsible naval and maritime power. Now, normally we don't comment on media reports, and what you referred to is the opinions that you referred to. To me, it seems an instance of example being completely contradictory to the precept. And I would wonder as to why this should be so.
Has India accepted invitation on One Belt One Road meet from China? And if there is any dilemma, because our position on One Belt One Road is very clear, so why is the dilemma?
There is no further update to what I said last week. The matter is under consideration. When we will have an update, we'll certainly let you know.
Sir, yesterday the Afghan envoy has suggested that India, US and Afghanistan should form a strategic partnership, trilateral strategic partnership. So how India would respond to that?
Thank you. I would say that, as you all know, bilaterally, there is a commitment, there is a support of not only the government of India, but as our Prime Minister said, 1.26 billion people of India stand with the people and the government of Afghanistan in their effort to protect their sovereignty, unity, territorial integrity, and to cooperate with Afghanistan for it to become a stable, prosperous democracy, inclusive democracy. So that bilateral commitment is there. Your question is about the trilateral thing. I would say that trilateral consultations among US, Afghanistan, and India basically derive from the convergence that India and United States have in terms of the objective of promoting peace and stability in Afghanistan and fighting and defeating all forms of terrorism and in fact terrorism which is imposed on Afghanistan from outside from outside of Afghanistan. So based on this convergence between the objectives of the United States and India, and of course the interests of Afghanistan, we have had trilateral consultations, and the potential of trilateral consultation and cooperation between India, Afghanistan, and or rather among India, Afghanistan, and US, and to also take up development cooperation and capacity building trilaterally in Afghanistan, I think this reflects this broad convergence on strategic objectives to secure peace and stability and defeat terrorism in Afghanistan.
Hi, sir. Siddhant. Sir, yesterday the Sri Lankan leadership was here and there was an MOU signed. There are plans to develop a port in Sri Lanka. I mean, can you give us an update? I mean, what's the situation? Some clarity on that.
Okay. If you permit, I would say that let me take some questions. If there are other questions on the related matter on yesterday's talks or a memorandum of understanding, then maybe I can try and answer, because I understand many of you might have those questions. So Vanna followed by Sridhar.
Padma. It's okay.
Thank you for correcting me.
Thank you, Gopal. The Sri Lankan Prime Minister, before he arrived in Delhi, had spoken extensively to the media, and in that he's quoted widely as having said that he's coming to India to seek a development pact, a trilateral development pact between Japan, India, and Sri Lanka. Not specifically referring to the port of Trincomalee, but he spoke of a trilateral pact. Since that wasn't contained in your press release, could you elaborate on that, please? Thank you.
It was a bilateral press release. I sort of answered your question. It was a bilateral press release. Anyway, I'll answer.
Yeah. So my question is, in the press statement yesterday, you mentioned an economic pact, but it was the statement was absolutely silent on the details of this, what it entails. So could you just enlighten us on that, please?
Nainima, you have a question on the same thing?
So the India-Sri Lanka FTA had been under review for a very long time. Was there any progress on that, the next date of negotiations? Any update on that?
So I'll try and answer these 4 or 5 questions. Basically, what has happened is that yesterday, the two governments have signed a memorandum of understanding, which you all know is memorandum of understanding for cooperation in economic projects. Now, this basically seeks to continue and build on the traditionally close and friendly relations between the two countries, and also enhance our bilateral relations through more economic investment and development cooperation. If you really look at it, it is essentially Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas applied to our neighborhood, applied in an external environment. You are very well aware of the government's motto for India and for all Indians, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. But when we are cooperating and with our neighbors and building connectivity and taking development cooperation projects, working for a better future, better prosperity, it is basically Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas as applied to our neighborhood, first and foremost, and of course, the rest of the world as well, whoever wishes to partner with us. So, with this objective of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas in our neighborhood, first and foremost, the Memorandum of Understanding with Sri Lanka, it basically seeks to achieve greater economic investment and development cooperation in a progressive manner through joint ventures and other cooperative activities that will ensure the well-being of the people of the two countries. It has identified certain projects and certain areas of cooperation. The areas broadly are infrastructure, agriculture and livestock, and infrastructure is a very wide area. I will come to that. The specific projects that have been mentioned in the Memorandum of Understanding is regasified LNG fired 500 megawatt capacity LNG power plant, an LNG terminal or floating storage regasification unit in Colombo stroke Kerawalpitiya, a 50 megawatt solar power plant in Sampur, upper tank farm in Trincomalee, which will be jointly developed by India and Sri Lanka. A joint working group will be set up between Sri Lanka and India to explore the development of port, petroleum refinery, and other industries in Trincomalee. Then, of course, it has been identified that industrial zones, special economic zones, roads in Sri Lanka, certain roads, certain segments, certain railway sectors, and a container terminal in Colombo port as a joint venture, these will be developed. So these are broadly the specifics that are contained in the Memorandum of Understanding. Now let me mention to you that these are in the sense of a roadmap. These are in the sense of objectives and agenda points. All these will require further discussions and further negotiations. Specifically, the upper tank form, as you know, as you would all know that there was a lower tank form, that's why it's an upper tank form, and for which there has been Lanka IOC has been responsible for the development of it. But in order to attain full utilization and maximum exploitation of the existing potential and full development, there has been this idea that there should be the upper tank farm should also be developed, which requires more investment and more resources. So in the spirit of partnership, which I mentioned to you, the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, we of course offered to the government of Sri Lanka to form a joint venture, and that idea is contained in the Memorandum of Understanding. Now, this obviously will need to be further discussed and the details will need to be fleshed out. Similarly, as I mentioned, for port also, the joint working group will deal with further discussions on the development of port and refinery and other infrastructure related matters in Trincomalee, other industries in Trincomalee. So that is broadly about some of the specifics that you all were very eagerly waiting to hear about since yesterday. Nanima, as to your questions, there have been discussions with the Sri Lankan government and on this, and the talks are ongoing. There are ongoing negotiations in this regard, I think, and we will let you know if there are updates with us.
So any approximate figure on how much this entails, how much India is willing to invest in Sri Lanka?
At this stage, Ranjit, it is, as I said, it's a memorandum of understanding. It is an in-principle understanding on these areas and these projects. The details, as I said, need to be fleshed out.
And the tripartite was not.
Yeah, that I was coming to that. There is, you see, we would essentially, as I said, this is something which the government is focusing in terms of developing connectivity, developing neighborhood. And wherever there is a possibility of cooperation with like-minded countries, with the countries that are acceptable to both the parties, I think we are open to considering those possibilities.
Sir, Army Chief is visiting Bangladesh. Army Chief is going to visit Bangladesh. Would you like to share something?
Well, I'm not aware of any plans for such a visit. I don't know where some reports to that effect came. In fact, if I recall, Army Chief had visited Bangladesh at the end of last month, thereabouts. Shinjoy, then Gautam.
Sir, the request to get back, the effort to get back Lalit Modi is probably in process. Now, you've heard what his son had to say. He called India a banana republic and so on yesterday. Now, just wanted to know what the position is, where we stand vis-a-vis getting Lalit Modi back to India.
I don't wish to make comments on somebody's remark. Those are individual opinions. We all are aware of what India is as a democracy and a republic and our strong credentials. But as to the matter of getting Mr. Modi back to India, I am not aware of the current status. But this is also something which is not entirely in the MEA domain, as you would know. Maybe you could also address your query to other parts of the government of India, such as the Enforcement Directorate. But if I have an update, I will share with you.
Yeah.
Gautam.
Recently in Kolkata, there was a meeting of joint study group of BCIM. So where the Chinese representative has demanded that this meeting should be upgraded to an intergovernmental machinery. So what is our response to that?
This is, as you know, this is the BCIM joint study group. We obviously attach a lot of significance to BCIM. It's part of our vision, our leadership's vision, and country's efforts to promote connectivity with our neighbors in our region, because connectivity promotes trade, it promotes people-to-people contacts. So BCIM is a very important initiative which, as you know, began in 2013. Now, what is happening right now is the experts and various other stakeholders, they are discussing as to what can be taken up, what things can be done within this framework. And we have a very senior veteran diplomat associated with this, a retired diplomat, I meant, veteran, associated with this, heading this exercise. Our additional secretary was there in Kolkata to help and assist the discussions. Currently, what is the state of discussions is that we are focusing on synthesizing various chapters of the country reports, and once that is done, then of course it will help in deciding what is to be done in future and how it can be done. So that is currently the focus as far as we are concerned. Even if you send your handset to me and I am able to look at it, you know I won't be able to respond unless I see the facts, unless I see who in Pakistan has rejected and how, what exactly has been said. I won't be able to comment on this specific thing. But as you know, basically it is up to the government of Pakistan. It's their responsibility to bring to book the perpetrators and all those involved in conspiring and executing and mounting the 26/11 attack, in which more than 160 people were killed. And it's a matter of concern that well after 8 years from the date of the terrorist attack, many of these people, many of these perpetrators, they continue to enjoy freedom in Pakistan, and they have not been brought to book. So that is the general position. But as far as your question is concerned, I will need to see what exactly the facts are. Mike ले लो.
पाकिस्तान ने एक बार फिर कहा है कि कुलभूषण जाधव का जो ट्रायल हुआ है वो बिल्कुल ट्रांसपेरेंट तरीके से हुआ है.
So just an add-on question to this one. You mentioned that yesterday you said that the parents want to visit Pakistan to see their son, and they have applied for a visa. What was the assurance given by the Pakistanis on this issue? You mentioned that the Foreign Secretary also met Mr. Basit, and our envoy also met. So what on this specific visa issue, what was their response?
सर एक छोटा ऐड ऑन है कि कल का जो आपका स्टेटमेंट था उसमें ये भी था कि जो मदर हैं कुलभूषण जाधव की, उन्होंने ये भी मांग की है कि फेडरल गवर्नमेंट जो है वो इंटरवीन करे. तो मतलब क्या इसका ये हुआ कि आर्मी कोर्ट से सिविल कोर्ट की तरफ मामले को ले जाने की मांग की गई है उनकी मां की तरफ से?
Three questions here essentially. Please don't let me violate the rules which we have set. Give him the microphone.
The issue of the medical certificate, because for about over a year, nobody knows what kind of state his health is now.
Let me begin from answering you, Shinjoy. As I have said earlier here, that we haven't met. He has been in Pakistan's custody for more than 1 year. So therefore, the well-being and the state of health, etc., of Mr. Jadhav is a matter of great concern. And we have asked Pakistani government earlier also, and yesterday also when our High Commissioner met. I think the request was made for providing a report on his medical condition, on his health. So we await Pakistan's response. Sridhar, we also await Pakistan's response on the visa matter. The application has been filed by the private individuals, but the government has asked the government of Pakistan that this request could be facilitated. As for the question by you, Uma, that questions on Pakistan's assertion that they have conducted the trial in a fair manner, the fact on the ground is that we have nothing from the government of Pakistan officially in the terms of the documents, the details, the charge sheet, the summary, the evidence, etc. We don't know who defended him, if somebody defended him. So certainly we have said in public on earlier occasions, we have expressed our views. I don't need to reiterate them, but there is a great concern about his well-being, and not only his well-being, but about ensuring justice for Mr. Jadhav, because we continue to, of course, the charges against him are baseless. So, as I said earlier, these are the options. Currently, the steps that the family has decided to take, they have to, of course, apply. They have applied. They have sent the petition. They have sent the appeal. The steps that they have taken are provided for within the Pakistani law, and whatever options are available, that will be, I'm sure, the government and also the family will want to explore all the options possible. So, two last questions for today.
Sir, my name is Ariba. I'm from the Sunday Guardian. So, sir, Ehsanullah Ehsan, who is the spokesperson of Jamaatul Ahrar, which is a terror faction of TTP, he has said to have been confessed that he was a raw agent and that he acted as appointment for Jadhav. My question to you is that what does MEA know about this? And if Pakistan plans to use his testimony on the international platform as a means to prosecute Jadhav, then what plan do we have to counter this move?
A related question on the visa part also. He said that he's been helped and also with his, his allies. If you can throw some light on that as well.
Thank you. I think both of you ladies are referring to the so-called confessional video, which many of you may have seen. Well, I can only say that we all know how much value the so-called coerced confessional statements carry. And to my mind, all that such statements reflect is essentially a mindset which believes that others in the world are also doing what those people are doing who put out such quote-unquote confessional statements. So if there are no further questions, thank you very much for being with us today, and have a good evening.